Hi Bobcats, I'm Jace, starting you off with our top stories of the day. Twitter has announced more changes intended to limit the amount of abuse on the network. It comes after heavy criticism about harassment on its platform. It has announced 3 main changes, which will be rolled out in the next few weeks. It includes moves to identify people who have been permanently suspended and stop them from creating new accounts. The other changes are safer search results. This will remove tweets that contain potentially sensitive content and those from blocked or muted accounts. Collapsing potentially abusive or low-quality replied tweets. Neither of these tools will mean tweets are removed entirely from the platform, but users will be able to control whether or not they want to see either in their settings. The mute tool, which enables people to block certain keywords, phrases, or even entire conversations they did not want to see notifications about. Twitter also updated its block button to make sure that people who use the function can no longer see tweets from the person they blocked. Previously, their tweets could still be retweeted by other users in the blocked timeline.
Hi Bobcats, I'm Abby. On Sunday, many Bobcats tuned in to watch the 59th Annual Grammy Awards. The awards were held in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. Singers such as Rihanna, Chance the Rapper, Adele, and other singers and celebs came to not only perform, but to accept titles like Best New Artist, Album of the Year, and other awards like Best Pop Duo/Group Performance, which was awarded to 21 Pilots. As always, all eyes were on Beyoncé during her performance as she sang one of her 2 hit songs from her album Lemonade, making it a performance to remember. Finally, we have a special news segment about high school selection from Ms. Winter's advanced media class.
High school selection has arrived for 8th graders. Many of us have trouble finding out which high school fits us best. For OPS schools, you have the ability to choose from Burke, Central, South, North, Benson, Northwest, and O'Brien. We asked Buffett counselors for some information about the registration process and advice.
Well, everybody does it a little different as far as learning about the high schools. They had some informational meetings, and the high schools have had open houses. We also had the high school fair. If anybody couldn't attend that, I would suggest that they get online and look at the school's website. And then all the 8th graders received their selection forms yesterday and Bobcat Den, and so they need to mark on those selection forms and turn those back into their Bobcat Den teachers by January 30th. Well, for AP classes and honors classes, because there's a lot of honors classes when you're a freshman, the teachers here will recommend you. And then the high school counselors take that into consideration, and they also look at your grades and any test scores you had. Now, most of the high schools also want a parent to want you to be in those classes, and if a parent wants you in those honors classes, I think it's pretty standard that the high schools will accept you in that class. It's going to matter what school you're at, because the schools have different schedules, or some are block. I worked at Central for years, and they are on a traditional 9-period day. So it's gonna depend. You'll still have the same number of electives to graduate. There's 17, but if you're passing your classes and doing a great job, you're going to have way more elective classes to pick. Well, when the counselors come here from the high schools, it usually goes pretty fast. You'll sit down with that counselor from the high school that you've been selected to go to, probably for about 5 minutes, sometimes a little longer. Now, the prep process is what's really important. It's really important that you've looked through their course catalog, whether they give you a paper copy or they have their copies online. That's the important thing that students need to do that they forget about. a math course, social studies, science, English. Did I say math?
Yeah.
The 4 core courses, and then you're going to want to consider, if you want to go to a 4-year college, you're going to want to consider world language. Those are the courses that you have to take. Now, world language isn't required for high school, but it is for college. So you have to keep those both things in mind. That if your goal is college, then you've got to keep those classes in mind also. Not every high school has study hall. I know that a few do. I would say you need to use it. If you use the study hall, it is a great option. But I've seen a lot of students not take advantage of that study hall time. And they kind of doodled or, goofed around or they, or just spaced out. And that is not a productive use of that study hall time. Then you'd be better off in a class. Well, I'm going to go back to that course catalog and know the term prerequisite. Prerequisite means that you have to take a course before you can take that certain course. And that was the biggest mistake that I ran into as a high school counselor is, for example, kids that wanted to go into culinary and wanted to take a class at the Career Center couldn't get in because they didn't have the first 2 courses at the high school. So you have to look through that course catalog. I always suggest to kids go through and circle any elective that sounds good to you, even if it's only for a junior and senior level class, because then you know what courses you have to take to be able to take that when you're a junior and senior.
Signing off from Miss Winter's advanced media classes has been Lexi, Faith, and Maddie reporting.
Good afternoon, Bobcats. I'm Chaylee, and you just entered the BBTV Sports Zone. First up in Buffett Sports this week. Last week, the girls basketball played at home versus King. They won, putting the record at 6-0. They had no games this week because of conferences and will not be playing until next Tuesday versus Davis. In other news, we wish the boys swim team a good meet today when they swim versus McMillan.
What's good, Bobcats? I'm Javon, and I'm back here with your daily announcements. Buffett Bravo will meet this Wednesday during Bobcat Den to run our show. Bring all materials for dismissal. Please let Mrs. Craven know if you can't be there. Finally, Bobcats, don't forget that there's a half day tomorrow, and school will get out at 11 to prepare for student-led conferences. There will be no school this Friday and also next Monday. So tomorrow, get out and enjoy your long weekend.
Take a look at Mother Nature at its finest. This is the Firefall at Yosemite National Park in California. Every year around this time, hundreds of spectators gather to watch as the setting sun hits Horsetail Falls at just the right angle, naturally illuminating it into a golden glow. A lot of things have to happen for the phenomenon to occur. The water's temperature has to be just right, and the western sky must be clear at sunset. But when everything comes together, the Yosemite Firefall lights up for about 10 minutes a year. We're used to seeing camels in hot desert temperatures, which might explain why these guys seem so excited by snow. This herd of camels was caught frolicking in the fresh snow Wednesday in eastern Turkey. The group wasted no time rolling around, jumping around, chest bumping, and doing whatever this is. What a perfect way to chill on Hump Day.